Sundowns fans are so used to the success of their club.
Yeah.
They can't even tell when one season starts and one season ends.
Yeah.
It's a new season now.
It's success after success. And after
You understand?
It's just a cycle of success.
We want a run of wins. We have to keep winning. No, sometimes you lose.
Rasmus Højlund, thunderous. It's an absolute net buster.
Hello and welcome to the Diski Preview Show, where we'll bring you another exhilarating and exciting experience of the world of football. My name is yours truly, Mr. E, and I'm not alone, ladies and gentlemen. I've got my partner in crime, yours truly. Yeah, you see, he's going to be shooting at you.
Of course. And I'm going to hit the target. Obviously, talking about me.
Let me present to you Mr. Moore.
Well,
I thought you were going to,
No, as we are not cultured.
You're not cultured.
Sishara.
Straight.
I was seven.
Yeah, today we're going to be talking about two big games that will be taking place over the weekend. And the first one is going to be Jwaneng Galaxy from Botswana. They will be playing against the Orlando Pirates, and from Soweto. Phakathi Soweto ba.
Phakathi inside.
And Mbabane Swallows, they will be clashing with Mamelodi Sundowns. The train going to continue running?
That one's going to be an interesting one. We'll have to see because
be a very big one.
That result in the MTN8 is still stuck in everyone's mind. So we'll have to look at that one in a little bit more detail.
Most certainly. And we will take you through those two games when we come back after this break. The action is hitting up in the CAF Champions League as Jwaneng takes aim at Orlando Pirates, and that's going to be a big one.
A very big one, Mr. E, a very big one. I don't know whether to be excited, scared, or how to feel about this one.
I don't even know how to feel about this one because of the past events. I'm not too sure. But one thing that I can tell you, the current Orlando Pirates, the Sea Robbers, that the current lineup and the way they are doing their things, going about their business in the field of play, I think they've got a chance and an opportunity to upset Jwaneng Galaxy.
Of course.
Not to take to take anything away from Jwaneng Galaxy, but the current Orlando Pirates team, I think they've got enough to upset.
If we're being honest and we look at recent history, Jwaneng Galaxy and Orlando Pirates, not the first time they're coming against each other.
Yeah.
They've met now 4 times in the CAF Champions League. The first 2 times they met, I'm not sure about the year, but Orlando Pirates had a good time. They won those games. They moved on.
Yeah.
But now the last time they met was in the qualification phases of the same competition.
Yeah.
And that's when Jwaneng Galaxy won it 1-0 at home.
Yeah.
Then Orlando Pirates won it 1-0 at home, but then they had to go down to penalties because of aggregate scores. And then once it got to penalties, Jwaneng edged it on penalties by 5 penalties to 4. So clearly the story is one of Pirates have won this fixture twice, drawn it once and lost it once. And Jwaneng themselves also, when you look at how they've approached this game in recent times, it's out of respect for Orlando Pirates because they're not giving Orlando Pirates enough space to play their football. It's also trying to respect the opponent because of how good they are. And also don't forget Jwaneng Galaxy as well, 77 points last season in their domestic league.
Yeah,
also,
that's massive.
That's massive. 2
That's
losses.
massive,
2 losses in the whole season. Imagine that. 2 losses.
Are they the Sundowns of Botswana? How about on?
Yeah, no. In fact, I might be wrong. It might be 1 loss the whole season because they had 22 wins last season. But they did superbly well. 66 goals scored, 22 goals conceded.
They're a mean machine.
They're a mean machine. And one thing about the CAF Champions League, we've learned it that long and the hard way, especially on the Pirates fans, because when we went against Disciples, Utisha sat here and said, goals over 5.5. Then what happened? They came back with a 0-0 draw.
Yeah.
And now the second leg, that's when Orlando Pirates came out of their shell and they were able to win that game. And maybe we might argue the fact that maybe Pirates didn't have access to the footage of that team playing in Disciples before, and then once they played against them once, they knew.
They now could prepare.
Exactly. So now, another big factor when it comes to this game, Jwaneng has not played many games this season. This will be their 3rd match of the season because they did play against. I forgot the team, Africans. In their own league, there's a team called Africans. I think it was a Super Cup affair where they played home and away and they had to go to penalties to win the match. So when it comes to Jwaneng, they've only played those 2 games this season.
So in terms of match fitness, they might not be at par with Orlando Pirates.
100%. Because
Orlando Pirates have been active since the close of season. They only rested a little bit, and then there was MTN8.
Exactly.
The Disciples, Bashabe Fundisi. It's not right. It's not right. You don't do that to your pastor.
You don't do that to the disciples.
You
But
don't do that to the disciples,
but
man.
it is. But if you look at it, 2 goals scored in the last 2 matches. That's how Jwaneng is coming into this game.
Yeah.
So only 2 goals so far this season from them. A
Yeah.
goal per game.
Yeah.
You look at Orlando Pirates on the other side. Like you said, they played Disciples. They played 3 games in the MTN 8.
Yeah.
So in total, they've already played 5 games.
Yeah.
Plus, their players went to go play in the international break for South Africa.
They
So
had a very good off-season
Yes.
training overseas, man.
Yes,
I think that does count in terms of adding their impetus going forward.
exactly. But you see, for Jwaneng, they played a tournament that Super Sports United went to go play in Botswana against the big clubs in Botswana. So Jwaneng was one of the clubs that were involved in that tournament. So they also had some preseason matches. But the reality is that I think we saw it when Bafana played against Uganda.
Yeah.
Uvelu Mota, the goals he conceded. You know, at the end of the match, the argument was no match fitness. He hasn't actually been playing.
He hasn't been doing much on the field of play.
And then the next game, South Africa still conceded 2 goals.
Yeah,
So then the argument was match fitness kanjani, because this keeper has played 5 games so far this season. So back to the point I'm trying to make. So if you look at the reality here is that Jwaneng need to start this game off slowly.
Yeah.
Because if they go against Orlando Pirates
They can't
at
match
home and they try to play pound for pound,
Yeah.
they'll actually come into the second leg as you saw with Disciples 4-0.
Yeah.
Understand?
Yeah.
So they'll have to find a way to actually try and respect the opponent in this first leg.
Yeah.
Remember that you have not played 5 games like these guys have played 5 games.
And besides the five games, remember most of their players are in the national team, so there's
Exactly.
also 1 or 2 more games to be added onto their bag of games they
Exactly.
play this year.
And don't forget that the advantage for Jwaneng right now would be the fact that Sundowns, Orlando Pirates, and Stellenbosch, and Sekhukhune as well, they all have games that are going to be playing on Tuesday and Wednesday next week.
Yeah, when
So-
the PSL opens.
Exactly.
Yeah,
So the
kicks
PSL
off.
opens on Saturday, but
Yeah.
because they're playing CAF Champions League, they have CAF commitments.
Yeah.
Their matches have been postponed to Tuesday and
Tuesday.
Wednesday next
Yeah,
week. So
yeah.
you have to bear that in mind to say these guys, they have a tight schedule at the
Yeah,
moment.
very tight.
They're
very
getting players
tight.
back from international duty.
Yeah.
They're putting a team together. They
Yeah.
come into play us in
Only
Botswana.
a few days,
Only a few days preparation.
Yeah.
And then after that, they have to fly back to South Africa to play another game in the middle of the week in the PSL.
Yeah.
And then on the weekend, it's us again.
Yeah.
So there might be an advantage there for teams like Jwaneng Galaxy.
Yeah.
If they want to take advantage of it, this would be the time.
Yeah.
But they have to also remember that match fitness will not be on their side.
Yeah.
So is it a question of throwing the book and everything at Orlando Pirates?
Yeah.
Or will it be a question of having to manage the first leg and say, you know what, guys, let's try and get 1 goal, sit back, relax, and let's try and defend? Because one thing about Orlando Pirates, those wingers will hurt you.
Yeah,
Saleng,
most certainly.
Mufokeng will hurt you.
Mashangai.
Don't let them get too comfortable. Don't let them run in behind you.
Yeah.
It's going to be an issue. So if you can get an early goal, maybe throw from a set piece.
Yeah.
Because we know that South African teams, when it comes to set pieces, sometimes.
I've seen
Malachi
Dion
script.
Hoto. Hey, Dion Hoto is good these days with his left foot.
100%. I think when it comes to Orlando Pirates,
I think one nice thing about Orlando Pirates is that their approach and to their games is evenly balanced. They know that they can use the wingers. They can cut through in the middle, or if all that fails, they can try a set piece, and goals can come from any of those positions.
yeah, but you have to bear in mind now, your goalkeeper just played for Bafana on Wednesday.
Yeah, which I.
Yeah, he had to, on Tuesday. He had to play for Bafana on Tuesday.
Yeah.
Now, Saturday, he's in action.
Yeah.
Now, on Tuesday or Wednesday next week, he's in action again. So, obviously, there's recovery in that process. He has to recover. Then he has to train again.
Yeah.
So, you can't do the full training because then now you have to negate things like...
bazomfaka ice bath. Bazomfaka ice bath. Uzobona iplan. Uchayine. He's going to recover. Just throw him in an ice bucket, in an ice bucket or ice tub there. Uzolung, right. He will just spring up and that's right.
Well, yeah, Mr. E, but we'll see what happens there. But my thoughts around the game is that Jwaneng will have to try and manage the game. Don't try and win the game.
Yeah.
Don't try and beat Pirates in the first leg.
Yeah.
You're going to get hurt, especially because the second leg is at Orlando.
Is at Orlando State. Okay, that's great. Now, can you tell us the predictions? Maybe first of all, I'll need to know: are we going to expect a lot of goals? You said Jwaneng has to be cautious. Are we going to expect a lot of goals? Is it going to be a BTS over 2.5? And who do you think is the guy who's going to get the goals for Orlando Pirates?
I think Orlando Pirates have established this season that they're not confident travelers.
Yeah.
So when they do go away, they don't come back with massive results.
Like what we saw with the Disciples.
Exactly what we saw with Disciples. As soon as they go away, they play their brand of football, but they're not too much
imposing
into exactly.
So on,
and it's down to their finishing. I think when it comes to whenever they, like, if you look at the game against Disciples, they had a lot of chances. They could have finished those chances, but they just weren't getting finding the back of the net. So when you're playing against Orlando Pirates, especially at home, you know that they're gonna get chances, but they're not gonna really convert. So when it comes to goals, I don't think there'll be a lot of goals in this game. I think it'll probably be, if there is a winner, by 1 or 2 goals. Or if there is a draw, I think there will be goals in the draw. But I don't think it'll be one of those situations where they go about 6-0 and come back.
Okay, now tell me, is Orlando Pirates coming away, or are they going to come back with a win or not?
I think they're going to come back with a draw.
With a draw?
Yeah, I think they're going to come
0-0
back 0-0
or 1-1.
Jwaneng will have the confidence to say we've done it before.
We
knocked them out before, we can do it again. And Jwaneng's fans are going to be in the stadium.
You know what?
And it's Africa, Bafit.
One thing about this game, I'm so scared. I don't even know how to feel about it.
But that's the thing, you know.
I don't even know.
People want to compare. People want to compare the CAF Champions League to the UEFA Champions League. But I think the closest comparison to these two competitions would be to compare CAF to the Copa Libertadores.
Exactly.
It's hard to travel in South America. It's hard to travel in Africa.
Yeah.
So when you look at these two competitions, the similarities is that when you go to watch the Copa Libertadores, when River Plate is playing against maybe back in the day Santos, you get that the stadium is full. These guys are making a noise. There's flares. There's fires. It's the same like when you see Al Ahly play against the Sundowns in the semifinals of the CAF Champions League. So expect the unexpected when you go travel in Africa. And it's not like the Champions League in Europe where everyone is, the fans of this team are in that corner. There, the fans are sitting together. We are Raswa. So it's a different experience, especially for younger players. And Orlando Pirates at the moment, they have a lot of younger players they rely on. So, and Seleng is also good, but you know, the traveling in Africa has not been so much for him. So they'll get there and be shocked by the atmosphere. You know what I mean? So that's why I'm saying goalless draw, because the boys have to go there. The coach has to manage, you know, all the distractions and say, but focus on your game. Don't worry about the noise. Don't worry about the flares. Remember, we once watched Sadio Mane take a penalty, and they had light in his eyes.
Those lasers, those green lasers, and so on.
It's Africa.
It's
Africa.
Okay, those are the insights of Mr. Mo about the game between Jwaneng Galaxy and Orlando Pirates. He's saying it's not going to be a high-scoring affair when these two teams meet, but certainly the better team might be Orlando Pirates. All they need to do is to try and manage the game. Stay tuned. When we come back, we'll be taking a look at our second game, where Mbabane Swallows will be going head-to-head with Mamelodi Sundowns. We are still watching the Diski Preview Show as we unpack and talk about the big games that will be taking place over the weekend. And Mo has got something to tell you.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the family, and make sure to join the Betfred family by going to betfred.co.za. But if you have some thoughts on the analysis we're giving, make sure to join the comment section and let us know what your thoughts are around the matches we're talking about.
You know? This is just a feel of how things are happening in the studio. We are having fun as I'm hosting Mr. Mo. And now we take a look at the next big game. It's Mbabane Swallows that will be playing against Mamelodi Sundowns, the runaway train from Mamelodi. Before we get there, a lot of things have happened at Mamelodi Sundowns over the past few weeks. I can't say months, weeks, from the time Urulani left and left for, is it Raja Casablanca or Wydad? No, Wydad, yes. The train is not stable. Are the wheels coming off?
You know, Mr. E, it's easy for. First of all, I want to say this. If you love Rulani and you support Rulani Mokoena, then you must accept that you're a fan of Rulani Mokoena. And you must follow him where he goes. Same way the people that support Jose Mourinho follow Jose where he goes.
Not the team.
Not the team. You understand? Right now, people know the name Fenerbahce because Jose Mourinho is there now. Same thing with Ronaldo. The people who supported Ronaldo from his United days, when he went to Real Madrid, they changed jerseys, they bought Real Madrid jerseys. The reality is that if you support Rulani, Rulani and go with him to Wydad. And support the Wydad. Buy the shirt, be the fan of the club. You know,
buy flares.
Exactly. If you're a Sundowns fan, and a Sundowns fan first and foremost, then you have to stick with your club. You understand?
Through thick and thin. I've seen that happening to Kaizer Chiefs. Kaizer Chiefs hasn't been performing very well over the years, but some of the fans have stuck with the club through thick and thin. They've been losing matches, but they've been there.
Mr. E, it's a very simple idea. When you support a club, for example, people who support Manchester United, The people who support Sir Alex Ferguson will talk about how United was never great after Ferguson.
Yes.
Those who support the club celebrated when they finished second.
Yeah.
Celebrated when they won the Europa League with Jose Mourinho.
Yeah.
They said you celebrate because the club is your first
It's
love.
your first love.
The
Yes.
management and the coaches will
They
come and go.
after. Yeah.
But the badge is the most important thing.
Yes.
And that's where I think Sundowns fans right now are stuck between a rock and a hard place. Because now you have this community that's saying, I know they will never do it.
Yeah.
But there's fans who are saying, regardless of who sits at the chair,
Yes.
we'll support him. You understand?
Exactly.
And that's the thing that Mangoba needs right now. He needs to hear the fans say, we support you as our manager.
Yeah. Yeah, over the previous years when Mamelodi Sundowns was doing very well from the days of Upito Msimane, and then we had Umangoba, he stepped down, then we had Urulani. I think there was talk in the corridors that at Mamelodi Sundowns, it's a system that is working, not the person who's at the helm.
Exactly.
Right? Now that Urulani has moved away, do you now think it's still the system or it's the person who was at the top of the club?
Mr. E, one thing about football management, it's all about ideas.
Yeah.
We've had different coaches who introduce different ideas to football. We've had coaches that are great man managers. And the thing is with the game is that you fall in love with coaches that bring new ideas to the picture.
Yeah.
Mangoba would not be a manager of Sundowns if he was going to do exactly what Rulani did.
Yeah.
And which means that he has to take risks.
Yeah.
He has to try and approach it differently.
Yeah.
We might be looking at the most important stat, which is the goals and the results.
Yeah.
But have you ever looked at the possession stats? Have you looked at the tackling stats? Have you looked at the passing?
Yeah.
Has the team started passing more? Has the team started tackling more?
Yeah.
Where are they keeping possession more? Where's the heat
Yeah.
map? The thing is with South African football, all we care about is the result.
Is the result
We don't
at the
really
end of
look
the
at
day.
what is it that Mangoba is trying to
action.
establish at the
Yeah,
club.
yeah,
You understand?
yeah.
Because it's still the same players.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah, it's still
And-
the same players. Yeah, that's true.
And we saw at Liverpool Football Club where Jurgen Klopp left.
Yeah.
Arne Slot arrived.
Yeah.
His first 3 games, he has not conceded a single goal.
Yeah.
He scored 6 goals so far in the
Yeah,
league.
yeah.
I mean, it's 6 goals so far in the league. His goal difference is 6.
Yeah.
No goals conceded.
Yeah,
With the same players. He didn't sign anyone new.
Yeah.
With the same players.
Yeah.
So
But
he-
now Mangoba, Umqithi,
Yeah.
he goes there with the same players. He's not getting results.
But don't forget that he didn't go there. He was already there.
Oh, he was already there. Oh, yes. He was already. The one who went there is actually Kompela because he had left.
Exactly.
He came
And false.
back. Yeah.
And false.
Yeah.
But at the same time, Mr. E, it's having to take your idea because now you must also understand the issue that lies there at the bottom.
Yeah.
We're siyacava out here.
Siyakwazi.
Siyakwazi out here.
Yeah.
And we don't know Guti, the time Urlani was there.
Yeah.
What was the consensus around you? Mine is totally promotion.
Yeah.
Does everyone see you as the man at the helm?
At the helm. Yeah.
Or do they just see you as a hi.
Siyamazi.
Besimhleka. It's like one of those things. Phuza nawe today.
Yeah.
Sasa umfundisi.
Yeah. And then
Mele
now
we
we
must
want to
attend your
respect
church.
you.
So attend kanjani?
Angeke.
So it's one of those things where you have to understand: is it a respect issue? But
So,
everyone there's professionals.
In other words, are you implying that maybe the current players are not subscribing to his ideas because they don't respect him?
Well, Mr. E,
Because surely, whenever
so-
he sits down there to draft up a plan for a game, he always drafts up a plan for a match to win it. But these troops don't give him the results.
Mr. E, you're asking me a very interesting question because I remember there was 2 times in my career doing this.
Yeah.
Where I made mention of one team.
Yeah.
Which was Chelsea.
Yeah, Chelsea, yeah.
Jose Mourinho went to Chelsea for his second stint.
Yeah.
If you remember it well.
Yeah.
And once he arrived there, he got that Chelsea that had Eden Hazard, they had Diego Costa up front,
Yeah.
they had Pedro Ramirez. That Chelsea side that won the league,
Yeah.
then Leicester won the league the next season.
Yeah, yeah,
When Leicester won the league that season,
Yeah.
those players wanted the coach out.
yeah. They wanted him
They
out.
wanted him out.
Yeah.
And don't forget, at the time, Chelsea was the best team in the league because they had just come from winning the Champions League in 2012
Yeah.
with that interim coach.
Yeah.
And then they got Jose afterwards to say, come
come
continue the success.
Yeah.
And they won the league with Jose the first time.
Yeah.
Then the second season, they dropped. I think they finished outside of the Champions League spots.
Yeah.
The season that followed, they went and won the league superbly well.
Yeah.
That was down to the dressing room.
Yeah.
Umangoba at this point,
Yeah.
I don't know if he has or does not have the dressing room, but the result for this season for
Yeah.
Mamelodi Sundowns will hang on the shoulders of the players,
Yeah.
the voices in the dressing room.
Yeah.
If the players don't feel comfortable with the fact they go to Umangoba's pet,
Yeah.
then you will see the results drop. It's not
Yeah.
because the Sundowns is a bad team.
Yes.
It's just that the players don't like who's leading them.
Yeah.
And we saw it again for a second time when the coach of Pochettino,
Yeah,
he left
Pochettino,
Tottenham
yeah.
Hotspurs, he went to PSG.
Yeah.
And I asked the question, I remember I was on a platform like this, I asked the question, I said, this guy went to the Champions League final and lost it to Liverpool.
Yeah.
He has never won a Premier League title.
Yeah.
His cups, there's nothing.
He's got nothing.
You're telling Messi who has 6 Ballon d'Ors.
Yeah.
You're telling Sergio Ramos who has 4 Champions League titles. You're telling Neymar who has Champions League titles and has Ballon d'Ors runner-ups.
Yeah.
You're telling Kylian Mbappe, a World Cup winner, what to do. What happened with PSG that season? PSG didn't even win the league that season. And guess what happened with their coach that left?
Yeah.
He went on to win the Champions League with Chelsea.
Yeah.
So you have to look at it that way, Mr. E. That right now, Sundowns is in a very interesting position. It's either the players will buy Lestor Sagamangoba and they will continue the success. Or the players will say, Lumuntu let him keep. And the only way to force the hand of Mamelodi Sundowns would be to start picking up horrible results.
And I can assure you, at Mamelodi Sundowns, you pick up horrible results. You might not last a very long time when you are there.
You won't stay a very long time.
Yeah, but now remember, they also have Ufotloza and what's his name, Steve. But the person who seems to be in, who people seem to be talking more about is Umkriti. Do you think if he moves away, the two guys who will be left there will be able to give the results?
At the end of the day, Mr. E, it's really, when you hear the conversations around Mamelodi Sundowns, there's a big love for Rulani. And not just from the fans, but the players. And the way the fans speak of the players, they say, look, Ronan Williams is now in the Ballon d'Or conversation. And right now, we have to hands down give it to Rulani for creating that player out of him.
Yes.
You look at Utebho Mokoena. You look at what he's done for South Africa with Bafana. You look at for Themba Zwane. Those guys are crucial players.
Very
even
crucial.
for Bafana. You understand? If you lose those 2 players, if you lose those 3 players, because that's your spine.
Then you
lose
Umtao.
You lose Mokoena, Uzwane, and Williams.
Or maybe Ribeiro as well.
You understand? You've lost your dressing room. And once you've lost your dressing room, these guys are not playing for you anymore. And look, it's a lot easier for them to get rid of you because there's no bench for coaches. There's no bench for coaches. We have higher.
So I'm
not saying that. All I'm saying is if it's a better of the players have not bought into the coach's tactics, then it's going to be that.
It's going to be.
And then we'll experience something similar to what happened with Chelsea, where this season someone else will come in and win the PSL. And then next season, Chigi Sundowns goes unbeaten. Because they have the coach they want.
Okay. Now let me bring in an interesting what can I say?
Observation.
Statement or a statement that Uchi Shawetiski once said to I think we're in a platform like this some time back. He said Mamelodi Sundowns going forward is going to struggle. And we're beginning to see signs of what Uchi Shawetiski said. Is he a prophet or what?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet.
So the wheels haven't fallen off. They're just shaky.
Mr. E, if you lose 2 games in a cup competition like the MTN 8, don't forget that maybe, one thing you have to give coaches credit for, especially with Sundowns, the schedule. These guys play a lot of tournaments. All at once. All at once.
A lot of games.
So for them to have been knocked out of the MTN 8, it means there's one less stress to worry about. They didn't win it last season.
Now they can regroup and refocus.
They didn't win it last season. They didn't win it. They went to the final, yes, but they didn't win it. So it's no problem. Now that it's a league we have to worry about. When come this Saturday and come Tuesday next week, that's when we have to start talking about the Sundowns. But we also can't start talking about them after 2 losses and say, it's the end of the world. The thing is, when Sundowns fans are so used to the success of their club, they can't even tell when one season starts and one season ends. It's a new season now.
It's success after success. And after
you understand?
It's just a settle of success.
We want a run of wins. We have to keep winning. No, sometimes you lose. Sometimes things
and
don't
you gotta
up.
lose at times just to make 100%. Sure that maybe you regroup and try and re-strategize and put your plans, better plans in action, so to speak.
100%. So when it comes to this game, I think Iswalos, they have a big task ahead of them. Like Jwaneng, they have not played a lot of games this season. The season has just begun. Also for them, I think it's a very horrible draw. They'll be looking at it like, Betfred, we were once in this competition.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with Al-Ahly at the moment with the team they're playing. It's also going to be,
Best corner. Did you see me?
But the reality is that you're playing against one of the best in Africa. Regardless of whether the coach has come and left, but it's
still one of the best teams in Africa.
Mr. E, you're talking about when you go play against for example, no offense, you go play against the Mambas FC, You have to deal net
1632 at Tembisa.
Yeah, you have to play. You have to play against the logic. Your coach across from you. When you play against Mamelodi Sundowns, there's opposition analysis. There's their own analysis. There's dietitians. There's doctors. There's
physical
there's an army behind
Yeah.
Then make sure that these players are at peak performance.
Yeah.
So they already know how this team plays. They already have a strategy of what they're gonna do. And once they go into that game, we'll forget about the team we saw in the MTN8. And I think that people look at this game again in the MTN8 wrong. Let me get one thing straight. Mamelodi Sundowns didn't lose in the MTN8. Stellenbosch won. We must get used to thinking like that.
Now I see. I understand. I understand the thought.
Sundowns didn't lose.
It's Stellenbosch
won.
That won. Yeah.
And you must remember that for the whole season.
Yeah.
Because there'll be more conversations about us saying that, hey, by the way, that rule doesn't apply to Kaizer Chiefs.
Hey, Kaizer Chiefs has been, beefing up their squad. They've been buying players left, right, center. I think Kaizer Chiefs, I think I see a ray of hope in terms of bouncing back to winning ways. In terms of
winning what, Mr. E, the Danone Cup?
No, not the Danone Cup. I mean,
the mainstay.
They will be challenging for the championship this year. So I can see Kaizer Chiefs winning it.
Not the CAF Champions League.
Or Sundowns. No. Kaizer Chiefs, number 1. Stellenbosch, number 2. And then number 3 and 4 will be a toss-up between Orlando Pirates and probably Mamelodi Sundowns.
Let me tell you something about Mr. E. Mr. E is those guys bazokutshela ukuthi yada mina angifuni McDonald's amabheka ngiwafuni ngifuna ikota
straight
royalty to the core.
And by the way, the PSL teams are getting back into action over the weekend. We'll be able to see the likes of Kaizer Chiefs just to try and weigh and see how they've prepared for this season. But we're having a nice time in this episode. Yes. Now let's just
we should wrap it up, Mr. E. But before we do that, I just want to say my prediction for Chiefs is that Nabi will
for the whole season.
No. Is that Nabi will be gone by December.
To where?
Will Nabi?
Yeah, so he's going to be gone by December to CAF for. I think they're going to travel for the CAF Champions League matches. So he's going to be going.
You don't.
They're going to face Al-Ahly.
They'll say Sack. He'll be gone. He doesn't know what he's gotten himself to. He'll be gone.
Let's see how it goes. It's going to be an interesting season now when it opens on Saturday. And now one of the teams to be on the lookout for this season is going to be Kaizer Chiefs. Amakhosi abafana bokuthula noxolo.
Mr. E.
Hey, I forgot your predictions for the Mbabane Swallows game against Mamelodi Sundowns.
I can see you're trying to put
Yeah.
My prediction is going to be Sundowns win.
Okay.
I think they're
going to see a lot of goals there.
At least 3 goals.
3 goals.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think they'll score 3 goals to
Jwaneng, he's going to be there.
Look, as long as Jwaneng is fit and playing, I forget about it. But one player that people are not talking about is Ribeiro.
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 He's a workhorse. I saw even the last time when they lost against Stellenbosch, he played very well.
I mean,
really played very well.
Once you have a player like Umukwena behind,
not to Alende these days, man.
No, but it's because of the Mr. E. You have to understand. We're looking at it from an eye of what they don't have and not what they have. Because everybody's talking about Urlanu Hambi. No one's looking at the fact that these guys are
still there.
But the coach is trying new things, and look, there's a lot to be. I mean, Reyners is going to be there as well.
So
once he gets into the mind frame, imagine you have Reyners for.
So your front runners are going to be Reyners. You have Vushalulile and who else? Ribeiro. It's going to be
3-0 is my predictions. We leave it like that.
Okay.
We leave it like that.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your predictions.
Jwaneng, don't forget.
Let's quickly recap on that. You said Jwaneng Galaxy is going to draw with the Orlando Pirates,
100%.
the Sea Robbers, and Mamelodi Sundowns will win by 3 goals.
2-0
against Mbabane. 2-0. 2 goals.
No, 3-0. I mean 3 goals to 0.
3-0.
Yeah.
Okay, so Mamelodi Sundowns is going to win by 3 goals to 0 when they play against Mbabane Swallows. That's a wrap. I'd like to thank you very much for tuning into this week's episode of the Diski Preview Show. I'm signing off. My name is yours truly, Mr. E.
And I'm Mo who doesn't teach e-disc.